Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Trina and today I'll be updating my master bedroom on a budget. My goal is to remove the popcorn and add a no miter cut molding around the ceiling. Before I begin this process, I made certain I wore a mask to protect my lungs, safety glasses to protect my eyes, and something to cover my hair. I'm thinking for my next project, I'll wear a painter's overall because at the end of the day, I was covered with a lot of dust. I thought about hiring someone, but to keep this project on budget, I decided to do it myself. The scraper I'm using, I purchased from Home Depot and I wasn't pleased. It wasn't working for me. As a result, I took my tape knife and proceeded to scrape the ceiling myself. I withdrew from applying any water to avoid priming the ceiling because it would have removed too much surface. Therefore, I just continued to remove only the raised popcorn. Even though the molding would be placed, I still made sure all popcorn was removed from the edges of the ceiling. The ceiling fan really got in the way. I will make a note next time to make sure all the furniture is removed from the room and the floor is completely covered. I noticed some of the popcorn was landing on the plastic and some flew past and landed on the carpet, but it wasn't much. My vacuum was indeed put to work that day. I continued to scrape over the ceiling to make sure all popcorn particles was removed and leveled. This process truly gave my arms a workout, and it was needed. Halfway through this project, I was thinking, what did I get myself into? But I continued on because I knew I had a goal to reach. After the popcorn was removed, I felt a sense of relief. I've been talking about this for years. I was so happy when my husband arrived home just in time to help speed up the process. With his help, this process didn't take long at all. Thank goodness for my nail gun. It really came in handy. Placing the pine boards wasn't hard at all because there was no concern about miter cuts. Seeing the lower boards installed, I could see the makeover coming to completion. For the top boards, I chose to install the MDF boards because I've heard they were just as strong, plus the cost was good and kept me on budget. Well, my husband was absent and I proceeded to install the boards myself by using another board to offer support, and it helped. I learned something every day. Doing DIY projects, you learn a lot by trial and error. Know that I'm not a professional and there might be a lot of things I'm doing incorrectly. But at the end of the day, I see my vision and I can say I tried. What motivated me to start this project was that I wanted to update the ceiling and give the walls more definition. I'm always looking for new projects. If there are projects you would like to see, you're welcome to leave me a comment. Also, to make sure you don't miss out on any upcoming videos, I invite you to subscribe and turn on your notification. After I finished installing the boards, I wasn't alarmed to see visible gaps and holes because they soon will be concealed with a plastic wood filler and a flexible acrylic caulk. After the caulk dried, I did see some areas I overlooked, so I took my time examining and sealing the necessary areas before sanding with 120 grit sandpaper. Surprisingly, the MDF boards were smoother than the pine boards, maybe because of the density. Moving forward, I will be using MDF boards on my future projects. I ended up using 3 coats of paint on the molding due to the unprimed pine boards. I found it easier to use a paintbrush instead of a roller. That way I could control it better and get into the small areas. It didn't take much time at all. The paint color I chose for the borders was ultra white and it looked nice and bright. Now it was time to paint the ceiling. I finished with 2 coats and decided later to use a much smaller roller because the large roller was a task. After applying my last coat, I did a final check for any imperfections. You can see that I transitioned to a much smaller roller. The color is from Bear called Swiss Mocha. It's a warm white with a creamy undertone. Using a smaller roller took some time, but I didn't care. I had to get to the finish line. There was no way I could use anything larger. I wanted to stay true to my timeline, and I had to stay focused. I normally give myself a week to complete a project, but if more time is needed, I will take it. It didn't take me long to paint the doors and the trim. To avoid any drips, I applied a small amount of paint and used cardboard to protect the carpet. I certainly didn't want to mess up my walls and add to my timeline. My plan is to paint the doors black later. I've seen several people doing that, and it looked elegant. But I'll leave that for another upcoming project. I could now see the light at the end of the tunnel. It took a week to reach my goal, and I was pleased. Now it was time to add some decorations. I was very pleased with these blackout curtains I purchased from Amazon. They certainly kept out the daylight, and the quality was excellent. I guess I can say I'm a minimalist with an eclectic vibe. I have a taste for a variety of styles. My goal was to use 2 neutral colors and later add another color. So I chose cream ivory and gray, allowing the gray to dominate the room. The coverlet and duvet was a good purchase. Once I inserted my down comforter, the combination of both was so cozy. When I purchased my bedding, I felt it would be okay to spend a bit more to achieve my desired comfort. Thread count does make a difference in the quality of bedding. Adding pillows to a bed makes it beautiful and inviting. I prefer just enough to accomplish that cozy welcome. To add texture to the room, I decided to add some faux fur pillows and a throw to match, and it looked great. When I decorate, I try not to display too much. I want to give the eye a chance to rest. I try not to get caught up in trends because what I like may not be trendy, but it's something I like that makes my home uniquely me. The master bedroom turned out nicely. It was all worth it. Plus, I saved money and met my budget. Everything turned out exactly how I planned. The ceiling, the creative molding, the paint, and the decorations. Thank you for watching.